Hey everybody, Gatsby here. This is, as you're already probably observing, neither holofoil nor brain mess, nor, I don't know, anything else that I've started work on over the years, but I got some particularly good advice in the form of a video from another game dev YouTuber. I'll put it up somewhere. That you really shouldn't work on your magnum opus as your first game. And, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that holofoil, the way I'm imagining it, is not just some dinky little black and white game. It's it started to mean a whole lot to me. And so, yeah, I think that I need to work on something smaller first. And before I quit my last YouTube channel, back whenever I was trying to make this series called Bastard Sword, I was considering abandoning my experimental attempt at building the visuals for the series with AI and just making the actual game, like at least something I could use for recordings, right? Because it was a D&D series about a lost media video game. So I was like, well, fuck, we'll just make the game. And I really started getting excited about this notion of using Unity to build visuals for videos. Not necessarily to make games, but to build visuals for videos. And I've really enjoyed that lately, especially because there's sort of a degree of separation there. You know, people are not huge fans of AI assistants, regardless of what troubles that you may have in completing certain tasks. And so I started thinking of ways in which I could make the best use of the tools without being disrespectful. And from what I've seen within the game development community, or at least, within the game jam community, is that nobody seems to give a shit if you use AI-assisted code. And that kind of rings true for me. I've never really met anybody who looked at coding as something they did artistically. I think even most coders hate coding. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, what if I can do all the visual elements by hand, all the pixel art by hand, all the ideas, for the most part, by hand, and just get help with this part that I have no formal education in, which is the code, build some tools that I can use for visual assets for videos. And those of you who know me know that I have a really troubled relationship with the clickbaitification of content. And I both hate how many viral videos there have been set to like brain rot Minecraft parkour runs, but also recognize the fact that I wouldn't have watched them if they didn't nab me hook, line, and sinker. So I thought, well, what's the alternative to that, right? If that's basically just as plagiarized as you can get, just taking somebody else's copy pasta or somebody else's like written story or comedy and reading it aloud to somebody else's entirely playthrough of somebody else's developed video game. What if you just make all the elements in-house? So this is cursing, and this is my brain rot platformer game that I built from the ground up with AI assistance so that I could simply churn out quick, low-quality videos without anybody complaining about it being AI generated. So many steps, motherfucker. So many steps. And before you say anything, some of the doodles from my previous video were originally AI generated, but then traced over. These are not. These are traced over photos of my actual fat ass arms. So you can suck it if you want to say that's AI generated. That's just me, baby. That's all man right there. So yeah, eventually I will get that ledge. I think the goal here is to kind of approach the problem I had with Bro-Op from a more delicate angle, which is I do not want to push out content that is just me talking. Wow. That's just me talking. Nor do I want to push out content that's just me talking to like static imagery. I don't feel like that's engaging. But at the same time, I also know that I can't get away with doing AI-assisted imagery without it making people upset. So I was like, well, hell, what's something that is just as bad, but that they won't realize they're angry about? And oh my fucking God. If you get mad at me, it needs to be the fact that I'm trash at my own video game and not that I have in the past used AI assistants. So yeah, that's the play, is that I do want to do a couple of like short videos, like, you know, responses and things like that, or maybe even just opinion pieces, without necessarily burning myself out trying to make it what I consider to be the bare minimum. Holy shit, you've got to jump if you want to make it through that hole, Jesse. So I thought, okay, well, if I could make a basic framework for this so that I can have little levels to go along with not necessarily video essays, but like opinion pieces or things like that, then that might, you know, soothe your iPad baby brain enough to listen to me talk, right? And this is not meant, Jesus, this is not meant to be a judgment of or criticism of you. I'm lumping myself in with folks with short attention spans, obviously. This is actually the second formal draft of this. The original draft was just unhinged because I had a lot on my mind. And so I think I'm going to save that for a different video essay and try to turn it into something a little cleaner and a little less resentful, so that I can, you know, wax poetic a little bit about some of the things that I've dealt with. But less on that for now and more of a thank you to everybody that watched my last video and encouraged me to keep working on holofoil and encouraged me to keep looking for jobs. And even fuck all those people who asked for me to teach them game dev. I clearly don't know anything about game dev. Really, all this I managed with patience and a fighting spirit. just arguing with a chatbot until it finally relented and admitted that no, as a matter of fact, you did not fix the problem. We're still having the same problem. Come on. Shit, I didn't even... I'm gonna tell you, in the one where I just absolutely humiliated myself, just ranting in self-defense that I'm not gonna publish, I hit that jump almost every time. You're just gonna have to believe me. But yeah, a couple of notes. Since publishing that video, I have made a couple of connections that I'm proud of. One with a indie developer out of New Zealand. Shit. Did I not save the level? Like, clearly... I feel like I fucked something up. I used to be making that top one, the one on the left that's protruding, and then hopping through to the next one. What am I doing wrong? But I made that connection. We're going to talk more eventually. We haven't set a time or anything, but I want to do like an informative interview with him since his dev studio is not hiring. But at the same time, if I could just get some interviews under my belt, period, that would just be good for me in general to have a little bit of a better idea of what to expect. Shut up. You got to keep in mind, man, I made the game, but I also developed the level. So like, there's parts where I'm like, is the level badly designed or do the mechanics need tweaking? I have no way of knowing. Shit, fuck, piss, goddamn. Let's see, what else do I need to talk about? Originally, I kind of wanted to talk about a couple of comments that I'd gotten that it was only 2. It's not worth making a whole big deal out of it, and that's a big reason why I'm not going to publish the other video. But, you know, I feel like I did a good job of qualifying the fact... that was so close. I feel like I did a good job of qualifying the fact that, that the last video was not an appraisal of AI. It was not like... saying to everybody, go out there and use AI and shit. I didn't do that. I was saying that for me, as someone who struggles with an invisible disability that other people don't struggle with, I'm going to use the tools at my disposal, period. Jesus. I think there's a glitch. I think that it's not clinging me long enough. Like my arm disappeared. So maybe I accidentally undid something. Maybe it's dropping the wall jump, because it's not supposed to drop the wall jump just because I looked all the way away. So that may have been something that happened when I added the arm sprite by mistake. I would take an aside, but then I would forget what I was saying. My point was that I had a couple of comments who was just reaming me for what they believed to be no, for what they believed to be me promoting the use of what they believed to be something very unethical and terrible. And I just didn't do that. I'm not even going to argue about the pros and cons of AI. I just didn't do that. And as a matter of fact, I made more jokes to my detriment than I did statements to my defense. So, whatever. Yes! Okay. We're going to lose immediately. But, you know, because I have ADHD, I have two things that get in the way of dealing with criticism effectively sometimes. One of them is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, where I put in a lot of work on this and then was, you know, rejected out of pocket by people who are hyper fixated on something that is not actually relevant to what I created. And oppositional defiant disorder, which is you're mad at me for doing something the way that I wanted to do it, and you're telling me the way that I should have done it just because. I'm never going to respect that, and I'm never going to do what you said. Is really all there is to that. So, yeah, I'm kind of trying to trick myself into producing content more frequently, and this might be one way that I could do that. Ta-da! I was actually really hoping that I would fail at the last second for comedy's sake, but I can't even count on myself to fail when I'm supposed to. Thanks so much for watching. This was stupid. Bye.